Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 65 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Today, I'd like to get the foundations of a system set up so we can actually start generating power with all this cool stuff that we've been working on the last episode or so. So I'm building myself the very first of a multi-block system that should give me what I want. And I want to see how small I can make this room. I don't think it needs to be particularly large per se, but we'll see. Because I'm kind of backed myself into a corner here with the sizing of this room a little bit, but I think we can pull it off. So in theory, I should be able to just stick my crystal right there. And so we've got that. So you're going to generate 20,000 RF a tick. Ain't too shabby. Let's get ourselves a lever and try turning this on. I want to see if this will work in the compactness that I've defined. Oh yeah. Sweet. We can do this. All right, cool. So you're good. Power's at 99.9%. Good. Let's get our exchanger out. And I'm going to want to make some blocks. These blocks, to be specific. Dense obsidian is a cool material. It basically, there's dense obsidian. Let's do resonant then, because there's too many things with dense in the name. And dense glass. Basically, when you run these generators, the less purity that you have in a crystal, the more pollution it generates, and I'm pretty sure that even if it's at 100%, it still generates some level of pollution. So you're going to want to enclose your room inside a structure that is made of dense obsidian to prevent any of that pollution escaping. It basically contains it more than it would otherwise. So we'll probably wind up changing stuff up here a little bit, but basically we're going to want let's get half a stack. Well, we should probably just get a whole stack to get started, and we'll kind of go from there. We also have a pedestal that we'll talk about in a minute here. So basically you, and then I want you to be good. So you're going to want to completely enclose this room in dense obsidian, if at all possible. And that's really just the gist of it. That's it. Just do it. Just don't ask questions. Just do what you're told. So we'll put dense obsidian back here. This stuff does take, like obsidian does, a decent amount of time to break. So be a little careful about where you place it. But it's not the end of the world, obviously, if you misplace a little bit. So I'm thinking, I want to make sure this room half looks good, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it could just be a really tight room. 4 across. I think that would be cool, right? So maybe let's see how it looks just like this. Now, I'm going to remove this guy because eventually what we're going to actually have is underground here. We're going to have a thing to turn this generator on and off. And we're going to start working towards a multi-tiered power generation system in this episode. So what I'd like to do is basically have it so that these guys are our primary generators of power. They're just going to always be running because they do two really good things. One, they self-throttle, which means that they use less fuel and less power as needed. So we don't have to worry about turning them on and off. So they're going to be our primary power generation system. But once our energy cell here drops below a certain threshold, right? We could say once it drops down to 35 million, we'll turn on another power source and let that start augmenting the power generation. And then as we expand our base to have more and more power needs, what we'll do is expand that to the point where, once it drops below 25 million, it'll do another power generation thing kicks on. And then once it drops below 10 million, we'll kick on something really powerful, right? So just multiple generators that kick on at different thresholds. So that's pretty much what I want to work on today, in addition to getting this cool looking generator room up and running. So long story short, let's just what I'll do is I'll stick a little bit of lighting in there, right? Did I hit that? That's resonating crystal. That's energy acceptor. I think they have a pretty full block size. So maybe you didn't do that too well. I wouldn't mind having just a little bit of light in there. We're going to have glass in the front, but, you know, having a little light source in the back would be cool. There you go. Nice. So we'll want a little bit more of these. And that's going to be flush with our wall a bit. Cool. Nice. I like it. Looking good. Looking good. Now we might want to do a little bit of automation, but we'll get to that in a bit. And I'm going to want a few pieces of dense glass. Looks like 4 would be fine. Right there. And that'll look good. I like it. Like a neat little reactor room right there, ready to roll. And then we can do that. And what I wouldn't mind having is maybe this portion of the room can be like some kind of cool looking glass. Like we'll start with gray bordered glass, right? Or thickened glass. Doesn't really matter. I wish I had a good way to get in and out of that room. So let's get gray bordered glass. See, that'll look pretty cool. What would thickened glass look like? I think that might look even cooler to me. Where are you, Exchanger? Trying to remember which hotkey I assigned this guy. There you are. Yeah, see, that looks even better, right? And if I wanted to, I could use this as a doorway. Cool. And then what I wouldn't mind doing is also to continue the keep it looking nice theme that we've got going on here. Let's get some sandstone. At least 1 stack, if not 2. And our exchanger again. And expand this dude out a little bit. So that this continues that like pyramid-y look that we've got going on in here. Like this is all kind of behind the scenes and you can't see it from outside, but we'll do our best to kind of make things look neat. So it doesn't look terrible. Technically, we should also be able to fill in a lot of this wall stuff so that that's what we're going to be seeing from the outside, and a lot of this wall can be filled in too. Kind of built that with that intention. And then I would like to have the sandstone flooring pattern, right? So get you back. This guy is what I want to have next. So that's that. That should work. Cool. I think that looks pretty cool. That looks like not bad at all. And from the outside, it looks really nice. See? Nice and fancy. So I like it. So we'll stick with that, and that looks pretty good. All right, I think that's cool. And then you're ready to roll. So let's figure out how we're going to automate this whole read the values of energy cell, and if it's less than a certain metric, we'll probably wind up going integrated dynamics. And this will be less complex than the last episode's integrated dynamics. So I am recording this before last episode's integrated dynamics went live. So I'm really hoping that the feedback on that episode was, yeah, Dyer, we liked seeing integrated dynamics get this complicated. But even if you didn't like it being that complicated, don't worry, because today's episode of integrated dynamics will be far less complicated than last episodes, and it'll be fine if you're not like into or understanding of the coding as well, because it'll be way simpler. I think that's the route I want to take. I just want to really verify that, so I'm going to just think a little bit and make sure there's no other approach I want to go with. So I think before I jump into doing this, I want to play with RF Tools screens a little bit. These guys are cool because you can like do cool stuff. So let's take a look at what we can do with these. So screens can accept modules of many different types. There's like tons of modules here that you can put into these things. The one I'm going to look at making is the energy module. And I want to play with this just a little bit to see if we can, you know, figure out what's what. So for this to work, I think we're going to want I'm not mistaken. And it's been a while-ish since I played with this. But let's like just put the screen there. Cool. So you're getting power now, which is pretty much what I'd want. Let's put our screen here. Sneak right click for GUI and insertion of modules. Use screen controller to power screens remotely. Yes. Wasn't there a way to make this larger? Hey, cool. Install module. Nice. Yeah, that's good. I thought I could make you bigger. Maybe I need to hit it with a wrench. Wrench. Let's try hitting it with... I think the smart wrench will allow me to make it bigger, but I'm curious if it would work with this dude. Ah, yes. Perfect. It does. Cool. Nice. So if I put him up here, what would it look like to do that? Would that be neat? Ooh, I like it. I think that looks really neat. So sneak right click for the insertion of... And you have to sneak right click on where the block was originally. So you can't sneak right click on any of these blocks. It's the top left one where the actual screen really is. And to link this energy module to this energy cell, I think I just need to sneak right click it. And then I can pop that dude into there. And that should be cool. So label will be main power. And you're gonna... Oh, not connected to a screen. So first we're gonna... Let's go into Raven mode here. I need to scan for nearby screens. We found one. So the screen controller is what accepts power. So this is RF tools. The screen controller accepts power. You hit scan, it finds nearby screens, and then it can power them. I forget the range, but nearby means nearby. Hey, why did you shrink? Boop, 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 boop. There you go. Nice. Main power. So let's, do this. So you're going to be show the amount of RF. Oh, that's the RF per tick change. Okay, cool. I don't know if I want the bar to be there. I might want the bar. Label alignment center. I'm going to play with this a little bit. That looks cool. So when it's like a positive RF, it'll be green, and when it's a negative, it'll be red. I feel like there's better ways to make this look cool. Comma format? I mean, it's obviously, show the amount of RF. So that's like the current RF, right? I don't know if I love the bar, though. I feel like this could look better, but something's like not looking as good as I thought it would be. Back in a sec after I play with it a little more. I think what I'm going to do is put another energy module in there. We'll put it in this. Hello, thank you. So maybe your label will be RF, and your label will be RF per tick. And you will show RF per tick. I don't want a bar, but I want the same deal where it's green or red. And you can do commas mode. Does that sound cool? That looks neat. I made it a different color label. I'm going to center you. So that looks nifty. Does that look cool? I don't know if I need it to be so large, though. I wish I could make it, like, take up more screen real estate. I don't know. Back in a sec, playing still. Well, we'll leave it like this for now, but let's go turn on our stuff and things down here, which we have off at the moment because power concerns, right? So if I turn you on and allow you to run, you should now be having a net loss-ish of power, right? Yeah, see? Cool. Even with you running as full as you can, we have a total loss of around 1,500 RF a tick. So that's kind of cool. I like that a bit. I really wish I could make the screen have a little bit less black space, but I don't know how much I can do that. Short of just like, doing... Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Did you actually like retain all your stuff? Yeah, I just need to rescan for it. Let's just do this back here. Just need to rescan it, and then it'll pick it up. See, like, that looks pretty silly. I just don't like how much empty space there is there, you know what I mean? But otherwise, cool. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe there's other things we can measure that might make it cool. Like, if we add more metrics to things at some point, it might be nice to have. So how am I going to toggle this thing on and off? So I was going to use integrated dynamics, but I've run into like kind of a problem. I don't want it to just turn on and off at a threshold. I want it to toggle on and off. So like I want it to turn on when we get below 50%, let's say. So like, or below 25 million. And I want it to turn off when we get above a certain percentage, like above 80%. I don't want it to just be like turn on below 75. Because if I do that, then what's going to happen is as soon as it hits 74.9, it's going to turn on. And as soon as it hits 75.1, it's going to turn off. So that's going to stink, right? So let me think. All right, I hope resonant flux ducts are ready to transmit power properly because we are going to need to do that like right now. I didn't realize how close to needing to do that right now we were. So let's get ready to get under here. You are going to get into bird form. And let's do this. So going in, what were we going to transfer power in with? I want to grab some resonant flux ducts. Oh good, they're crafting. Yay! I was concerned they might not. And we basically want to tap into the generator itself. Now, ideally we wouldn't get... There we go. So you're the generator, right? I wonder if I could... I wonder... if we could use actually Addition's Phantom Energy Face. Would that work? Would Phantom Energy Faces work to extract power? I've never done that before because, like, it's never seemed necessary before. But that would be cool, right? So, like, a Phantom Energy Face and a Phantom Connector, would this work? So, like, if I put you here and I did this and that, you're connected to the generator, right? So you've got, you know, a 739,000 RF in you. If I did this, ooh, hello, sweet. So I don't actually have to run cabling into here. That's cool. Now I'm probably gonna want to have some dense dudes going on here, but this is the generator controller, so I can put the lever on this guy. Are we getting a net gain of power? Oh yeah, we are. Look at that. Booyah. Beautiful. It's actually working quite well. That is nice. I guess the other thing we'll probably want to do here is take a look at looking at deep resonances. Now that we're actually like doing a lot, we should measure the amount of radiation that's happening in this area and see how good of a job I am doing protecting stuff. So right out here, there's no radiation detected. That's good. There's a little bit right here. But, like, radiation levels, like, you want to worry about is, like, around the 10,000 mark, not around, like, the 10 mark. I'm not entirely sure. I forget the number that you really care about. But let's see what's going on down here, because that's where I would expect a little radiation to be. Because we have, I mean, it's really not bad at all. I mean, it helps that we have that super pure crystal. That super helps. But yeah, hardly any radiation. I'll take it. So here's where it's like the worst, right? Right here. But that's still not terrible. Like, I'm not even getting a hunger effect from that. And that's like the first sign that you've done bad things, as you get hungry. Nice. Alright. So radiation isn't bad. Oh, there we go. We did get some hunger. We did get a hunger effect somewhere, but that's alright. Sweet. Alright, so that is a huge shot in the arm for power. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to go about doing some stuff. So maybe we'll come back in a minute once I've figured out my solution. So that should shut that guy off. And then we're cool. And we're back to losing a decent amount of RF per tick. So everything's good now, and I like the idea of using the energy phase so that we don't have to run a wire out of that room. The only trick now is going to be how to actually toggle that on and off. I haven't figured it out yet. All right, guys, I think I've come up with a way to do this. I'm not sure. Normally, I would have tested this before we recorded, but we'll do some on-screen testing. So what I'm going to do is play with XNet a little bit. I'm wondering if XNet can read off of a phantom energy phase. That would actually be cool if it could. Because if it could, that would be cool. Like, what if we put an energy phase here, right? Now, bear with me. This might be cool. It would be nice if this worked. It may or may not work. We'll see. What if... So where's... it's coming to the side, right? So if I did... If I placed the energy phase here, and we bound you to you connected... Now what I want to test is, can I remove this stuff, and will that work? You ready? That seems to be working. That looks like it works. Actually, that's really... I mean, I expected it to work, but I'm just glad that it actually works. Because then what we can do is a little bit of XNet magicry. So you're going to want to go... I'm going to put him into the wall a little bit-ish. Or maybe I'll put him... I want him to actually be connected to power, not this power line. Because remember, this line's only going to be active when the phantom energy phase, when this guy's sending power, right? So we want him actually to be connected like down here or somewhere more sensical. Let's get our signalum flux ducts. And maybe here might not be a terrible place for this XNet controller to live. Hooray! So I'm hoping I can do this. Not sure, but I'm hoping. We will see. If I were to put a connector on here and here... Oh, nice. You're connecting. Nice. So you should be able to see phantom energy phase. Cool. I always forget if you actually need a connector on the controller, but I think you do. What I'm going to do is XNet energy logic. We're going to measure logic on this guy. So with XNet, you can do some logic measurements. Kind of like you can do, but less complex than integrated dynamics. And I think we'll be able to do this because of the way the logic channel works, but I'm not 100% sure. But what I'm going to do to validate that this is working is grab a redstone lamp. Do I have it on me still? I think I put it out somewhere. There we go. And we're going to put this guy here. And on this, we're going to attach a redstone proxy. And I'm pretty sure what that will do is emit a redstone signal when I tell it to. So what I'm going to do is we're going to measure this. I'm going to say like less than 8 million if I can, or something like that. So sensor will be energy less than 8123123. And you're going to emit a color of white. Okay? And then energy greater than 10123123. And you're going to emit a color of red. Okay? I might need to bump this down a little bit, but we'll see. I might change it to 7 for a sec. Well, it's going to take me a minute to get this working. But then here, on the same channel, we're going to create a channel that says white, or we want it to be output mode, signal strength 15. Cool. So that... Okay, so you're working. Hey, that's neat. But is this going to toggle is what I want to know. So that should be off right now. Actually, it occurs to me that it might not. I still might need to do it in this toggle. The trick is toggling it off at the right time and then toggling it on at the right time. So like... white, yeah. I'm pretty sure these are ores. So what I could have is energy greater than 0 green? Would that... Okay, so you're not on yet. So that's an and is what that's telling me. So it should top on now. Nice. Cool. But the trick is, once you get more power, I want you to stay on until a certain threshold's met. But I think what's going to happen is as soon as it goes above 6, it's going to turn off, and that's not what I want. I don't want it to turn off the generator until it goes above, like, 10. And that's the trick that I'm trying to come up with right now. I don't know if it's going to be doable with XNet either. All right, guys, you ready for a shock? I decided to use vanilla redstone. Wah, wah, wah. Watch what happens when this drops below 9 million. You ready? And listen. Okay, cool. So I don't have the wiring hooked up yet, but watch. That toggled. So when it's below 9 million, we have a redstone signal here, right? So what I'm going to do is run some structure ducts with this dude set up as an input on channel red. And you can just do that to an output. Right? Now watch what happens when it goes above 10 million. You can see it on the top there, right? So we just passed 9 million, it's still on. When it hits 10 million, it shuts off. Cool. So how to do it? It's a basic RS NOR latch. So real simple RS latch, really not super complicated. Basically, the way this works, and I'm going to demonstrate it out here for you guys with some buttons that I just put away. I was going to build it on camera, but I wanted to test it and get it right before I did it on camera. But basically, you've got this. Wait. Let me just see how I did it in here. Just so I want to make it the same, yeah. So basically, I'll make it the same as it is in here, right? So we've got those two guys. I want to just try and... Yeah, I want to make it as replicated as it is in there as possible. So yeah, like I had it before. So we've got this and this, right? And the way this latch works is that this redstone signal, when we run it over to here like so, turns off this torch. And then this torch is ran around to here like so. And we've got buttons on either side of this thing, right? So when you press this button, it toggles it, and it stays in its current position because this switch got turned off. And then when you push this button, it toggles it the other way. So that's pretty much how an RS latch works. It's basically a memory cell. It records the memory of 1 bit of information. So it'll stay this way forever until it gets a redstone pulse over here. Neat? And then it'll stay that way forever. So the way this works then... I'll go ahead and keep this here for a second just to demonstrate it, right? Boom. Is we've got sensors set up on the energy cell here. It's going to kick on in a sec. Listen. Cool. And then it's going to kick off. Neat. So we've got sensors on this guy that basically say, hey, if you're less than 9 million... emit the white color, and if you're greater than 10 million, emit the red color, right? And then on this guy, we output a redstone signal whenever you're receiving a white signal, and this one over here outputs a redstone signal when you're receiving a red color. So basically, this thing outputs a redstone signal, and this guy outputs a redstone signal, and toggles that latch. So really simple, relatively compact RS latch here, just to kind of get things going. But we're not going to actually use 9 million and 10 million. What we're going to do is use, let's say, instead of 10 million, did you like completely clear everything out? Is that what you did? Okay. 35 million. And you're going to be 20 million. Cool. So that's the sensor numbers that we're going to go with. 20, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you are 35, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Cool. And with that, what should happen is the reactor will turn on when it hits 20 million, and then it'll turn off when it hits 35 million. And that'll prevent the toggling effect that typically happens when you build reactors like this. A lot of times what you find is if you're just measuring at the 35 million mark or at the 20 million mark, it'll hit 20 million, it'll turn off the reactor, and it'll quickly go right back above 20 million and turn the reactor right off, right? So it'll just be on off, on, off, on, off. And all you're going to hear downstairs is like back on and off. And it's really, really annoying. So by doing a toggle latch like this, I was really looking for something that would let me do it in a little bit more compact modded fashion. But, you know, I figured nobody would complain about a little vanilla redstone. Yes, Styra does have a basic idea of how to do vanilla redstone. Just, you know, I enjoy modded. Hey, look, it turned off. Right at the 35 million point. Nice. And now it's going to drop all the way down to 20 million, and then it'll kick back on. All right, so I think that's a pretty good wrapping up point for the episode. So we've prettified this. I'm going to call that pretty much an end to Deep Resonance for now. We might expand this later and do more. Later on, I might want a more complex control scheme for doing multiple things, because this will not be easy to expand. That's the other downside to this, is it's not... It wouldn't be too bad to expand, but I'd have to have more RS NOR latches, and we'd have to have a separate RS latch for each generator that we do, which wouldn't be the end of the world. Totally doable, but just not something that right now I want to do. I'd like to have something like really compact and easily expandable. But for now, Darwin20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time. You can see I've enabled my Void Ore Miner Mark III to continue. And next episode, who knows? We've got more stuff to work on. But now our power problems are solved. So for now, take it easy.